Not too long ago, there was a movie in the Hollywood film tradition, and I've asked the tech team to replay it a little bit. It's called The Help. Take a look at this.
You is kind, you is smart, you is important, you is smart, you is kind, you is important. Oh, that's so good.
You is kind, you is smart, you is important. You know, the tragic aspect to that film is that for all the affirmation and encouragement that those women were giving to those children they were caring for, they were not receiving 1 ounce back from the adults for whom they worked. Lest we forget, my friends, the time being portrayed in this film is not that long ago. Why is it that we have not yet affirmed the truth that God loves us all, and that God welcomes us all, and that God cares for us all? Some people don't know what it is or what it means to be special. They've never had anyone to tell them they're special. They've never had anyone show them the respect and the love that they deserved in this life. And so they don't know what it means to be special, and as a result, they act out in destructive and hurtful ways in an effort to make themselves feel special, but actually it only ends up leaving them with greater emptiness. My friends, I challenge us today to know that God loves us and calls us to love one another. I recently came across a story, and if you'll bear with me now, I'd like to close my message this morning. This is a book by Max Lucado. It's entitled You Are Special. How many of you know who Max Lucado is? He's one of the leading, most well-known Christian authors in America. And I had no idea that in addition to writing tremendous resources for adults, I had no idea that he wrote some children's books. And this is one of his children's books. And so if you would just bear with me and with the tech team, I'd like to close my message this morning by sharing this story with you. The Wemmicks were small wooden people, and all of the wooden people were carved by a woodworker named Eli. His workshop sat on a hill overlooking their village. Each Wemmick was different. Some had big noses, and others had large eyes, and some were tall, and others were short. Some wore hats, and others wore coats, but all were made by the same carver, and all lived in the village. And all day, every day, the Wemmicks did the same thing. They gave each other stickers. Each Wemmick had a box of golden star stickers and a box of gray dot stickers. And up and down the street, all over the city, people spent their days sticking stars or dots on one another. The pretty ones, those with smooth wood and fine paint, always got stars. But if the wood was rough and the paint chipped, the Wemmicks gave dots. The talented one got stars too. Some could lift big sticks high above their heads or jump over tall boxes. Still others knew big words or could sing pretty songs. Every one of them gave stars. But some Wemmicks had stars all over them, and every time they got a star, it made them feel good. It made them want to do something else to get another star. But the others, though, could do little, and so they got dots. Punchinello was one of these. He tried to jump high like the others, but he always fell. And when he fell, the others would gather around him and give him dots. Sometimes when he fell, his wood got scratched, so the people would give him more dots. And then he would try to explain why he fell, and he would say something silly, and the Wemmicks would give him more dots. And after a while, he had so many dots, he didn't want to go outside. He was afraid he would do something dumb, such as forget his hat or step in the water, and then people would give him another dot. In fact, he had so many gray dots that some people would come up and give him one for no reason at all. He deserves lots of dots, the wooden people would agree with each other. He's not a good wooden person. After a while, Punchinello believed them. I'm not a good Wemmick, he would say. The few times he went outside, he hung around with other Wemmicks who had lots of dots. He felt better around them. But one day, he met a Wemmick who was unlike anyone he'd ever met. She had no dots or stars. She was just wooden. Her name was Lucia. It wasn't that people didn't try to give her stickers. It's just that the stickers didn't stick. Some of the Wemmicks admired Lucia for having no dots, so they would run up and give her a star, but it would just fall off. Others would look down on her for having no stars, so they would give her a dot, but it wouldn't stay on either. That's the way I want to be, thought Punchinello. I don't want anyone's marks. So he asked this stickerless Wemmick how she did it. It's easy, Lucia replied. Every day I go to see Eli. Eli? Yes, Eli, the wood carver. I sit in his workshop with him. Why? Well, why don't you find out for yourself? Go up the hill. He's there. And with that, the Wemmick who had no stickers turned and skipped away. But will he want to see me? Punchinello cried out. Lucia didn't hear, so Punchinello went home. He sat near a window and he watched the wooden people as they scurried around, giving each other stars and dots. It's not right, he muttered to himself, and he decided to go see Eli. He walked up the narrow path to the top of the hill and he stepped into the big shop. His wooden eyes widened at the size of everything. The stool was as tall as he was. He had to stretch on his tiptoes to see the top of the workbench. The hammer was as long as his arm. Punchinello swallowed hard and said, I'm not going to stay here, and he turned to leave. And then he heard his name. Punchinello? The voice was deep and strong. Punchinello stopped. Punchinello, how good it is to see you. Come and let me take a look at you. Punchinello turned slowly and looked at the large bearded craftsman. You know my name, the little Wemmick asked. Of course I do. I made you. Eli stooped down and picked him up and set him on the bench. The maker spoke thoughtfully as he looked at the gray dots. Looks like you've been given some bad marks. I didn't mean to, Eli. I really tried hard. Oh, you don't have to defend yourself to me, child. I don't care what the other Wemmicks think. You don't? No, and you shouldn't either. Who are they to give stars or dots? They're Wemmicks just like you. What they think doesn't matter, Punchinello. All that matters is what I think, and I think you're pretty special. Punchinello laughed. Me? Special? Why? I can't walk fast. I can't jump. My paint is peeling. Why do I matter to you? Eli looked at Punchinello, put his hands on those small wooden shoulders, and spoke very slowly. Because you are mine, that's why you matter to me. Punchinello had never had anyone look at him this way, much less his maker. He didn't know what to say. Every day I've been hoping you'd come, Eli explained. I became because someone who had no marks told me about you, said Punchinello. I know. She told me. Why don't the stickers stay on, Lucia? The maker spoke softly. because she has decided that what I think is more important than what they think. The stickers only stick if you let them. What? The stickers only stick if they matter to you. The more you trust my love, the less you care about their stickers. I'm not sure I understand, said Punchinello. Eli smiled. You will, but it will take some time. You've got lots of marks. For now, just come to see me every day and let me remind you of how much I care. Eli lifted Punchinello off of the bench and set him on the ground. Remember, Eli said as the Wemmick walked out the door, you are special because I made you, and I don't make mistakes. Punchinello didn't stop, but in his heart, he thought, I really think he means it. And when he did, a dot fell off to the ground. The end.